The Little Prince was the most broken champion in Clash Royale history and fell off from that position so hard that it sees almost no usage now. We are looking at a full history of a card that Supercell shouldn't have released, and also look at its effect on the game. On October 25th, 2023, Supercell released a new trailer. It was a short clip of the actual trailer for the card later on. The teaser showed a sign to reveal a new champion with a medieval tavern that had a 10 elixir sign on the outside. Naturally, this led everyone, including me, to believe that we're getting a 10 elixir champion. Now, releasing a 10 elixir champion, whatever the stats were, would not be good for the game's balancing, especially considering Supercell's history with new releases. If you remember, it was an unstable time in October. Evolutions had been released only 4 months earlier. Everyone still had the bad taste that Supercell was launching a brand new pay-to-win champion, but this turned out to not be the case. 5 days later, Supercell launched another teaser with the card's name as a hashtag in the title. The Little Prince was shown barging into the royal castle, and with his high-pitched voice, it was pretty clear that he was not a 10 elixir champion. This reassured us that maybe, just maybe, that the new champion might be a little more balanced this time. A day after that, another teaser, showing a small clip of gameplay in activating the 3 elixir ability, but never showing what it does. It also featured a second of the trailer which came the day after. 2 things released on November 1st that day: TV Royale and the trailer. Both showed nothing much besides gameplay. Little Prince is 3 elixir with a 3 elixir ability, the cheapest champion with a very expensive ability compared to others. The Prince himself fired faster and faster the longer he stood still on the map. The ability spawned a dashing guardian to deal 400 charge damage to anything in its way. The guardian had 1800 HP, which at the time was close to the Golden Knight's 1799 HP. But none of this alone would have caused the Little Prince to be as broken as he was. What caused it was Supercell's decision to give out the Little Prince for free to everyone. This decision to give the already game-breaking power of the Little Prince to everyone was what made many people think Supercell might be on something up in Helsinki. So what happened was Little Prince was in every deck. Name a win condition, any win condition, it had a Little Prince in it. It wasn't like the typical broken releases like Evo P.E.K.K.A, where it's localized to only P.E.K.K.A decks. No, Little Prince could fit into any deck that needed a tank or an air counter, which happens to be every deck in the game. Screw any strategy, let's just spam Little Prince at the bridge and call it good game. So we know it's pretty bad. How did it break the game? Did it target any specific decks? Not necessarily, because at max rate, the Little Prince had 275 damage per second. For comparison, the Sparky has just 27 more DPS at 302. This allowed him to shred any tanks, and he only needed 5 shots to get to the stage. So it can counter anything like Giant efficiently enough, but what about the other cards? If you had a Mega Knight jumping at the Little Prince, activate the ability. Don't worry though, you can use the Guardian's 3.5 tile pushback to literally push the Mega Knight back mid-air. This still works, by the way, not just Mega Knight. Depending on the card the Guardian pushed, it would push everything back 3.5 tiles. This protected the Little Prince from anything attacking it or disturbing his high DPS while he shreds everything around him. The dash is also 4 tiles wide and barely shorter than the log's travel length, and it deals more damage than an evil firecracker. Don't worry about the Guardian dying anytime soon, because you essentially sent a whole Golden Knight to dash and kill anything in its way, and deal basically the same damage as a regular Knight, all for 3 elixir. It covers every weak point about the Little Prince, and then it overperforms. Also, if you're enjoying, only a small percent of y'all are subscribed, so if you'd like to help me hit 10k subs, thank you. Okay, so the stats are broken, that's understood. But it couldn't be that bad, right? 81% usage rate in top ladder. Out of 200 decks, 163 of them had Little Prince. And he was in every win condition from Golem Elixir Pump to Minor Poison. As you can see, this is not good. I don't know what made Supercell think this card was balanced and decided to launch it. They sold the Little Prince in the shop for lower arena players, but monetization doesn't seem to be the reason they made it broken, because again, they gave it out for free. But you know what the worst thing is? The Little Prince had already been nerfed before the end of the season, where we saw 163 decks in the top 200. If Supercell hadn't issued emergency nerfs on November 17th, it could have been a lot worse. On that day, they nerfed the Royal Rescue pushback range by 29%. Now it's 2.5 tiles, and it took 1 more shot to ramp up the Little Prince's charge. And keep in mind, the Little Prince still had an 81% usage rate in top ladder. These nerfs did almost nothing to the Little Prince's dominance in November, and the coming months after, they would try again and again to take down the monster that they have created. And then, on December 14th, a maintenance break fixed a bug where the Little Prince would shoot at the fastest fire rate, but he wouldn't stop even if he moved. He was literally a walking expo. But even worse, because he was half the cost and he did more DPS. January 3rd, another nerf. LP damage is down 3% and Guardian HP is down 11%. March 5th, Another nerf. Little Prince range is down from 6 tiles to 5.5 tiles. Royal Rescue dash range is down from 4.5 to 4 tiles, which also meant the Guardian could no longer reach the tower on her own. I don't even know how that was possible. After these balance changes, you'd probably think that the Little Prince was going to be down. And yes, it was compared to what it was before. But keep in mind, the Little Prince was still used in mid-ladder, by far. One side effect of giving everyone a single card is that everyone will play that card. That includes mid-ladder, top ladder, it doesn't even matter. So ultimately, they had to keep working on the Little Prince. June 17th, another nerf. There are 6 changes here, and this just shows you how stupid this is. Little Prince HP down 0.28%. Little Prince damage down 1%. Royal Rescue damage down 48.1%. Royal Rescue pushback down from 2.5 tiles to 2 tiles. Guardian damage down 0.5%. Guardian first attack time interval increased from 0.2 to 0.5 seconds. This nearly killed the Little Prince. So many changes were made in 1 month that surely no one could use them anymore without trouble. But they weren't done messing with the Little Prince. June 2025, buff. For the first time in 17 months, the Little Prince was in such a useless position that it needed a buff. Guardian damage was up 2%, and the Guardian charge damage up 11%. Finally, the Little Prince was balanced. But it's not. Little Prince is still in a rocky position, and maybe, just maybe, could stand another buff. But the reason the Little Prince is so difficult to balance is because there are 16 variables that Supercell could have reasonably changed to balance the Little Prince. I'm not going to read them all out, they're on the screen right now. Champions in general are very complicated to balance, and that's what added an extra layer of difficulty to making the Little Prince a fair card. Now, the big question I had after all of this mess is very simple. Is this bad? If every person has a broken card, will it then be fair? Sure, everyone will be forced into a position where they need to use the Little Prince, and literally no one can survive without it. This was before Tower Troops, so I'm going to give you an example. If every person has a Princess Tower, is it then broken because it has a 100% usage rate? What I just said was very stupid. Supercell still gives out cards for free. Almost every one is launched this way now, but none have come close to the Little Prince's dominance. Also, they did sell an offer to those who needed to upgrade the Little Prince, which brings up a great point that Lucas made. In response to Boss posting about the 163 out of 200 decks in top ladder, Lucas replied, "We all know it would be 200 out of 200 if everyone had it max." Which is very true. The Little Prince still caused an imbalance for those who had no champion wildcards to upgrade it, which ultimately made it unfair. The Little Prince serves as a reminder to Supercell to never do this again. And of course, they did it again 6 months later. Now guys, I'll say this again, 10,000 subscribers is really close. And if you'd like to support me, that'd be much appreciated. And this video actually went out a day earlier to channel members. So if you want to become a channel member, it'd be much appreciated. This is a completely different style of video compared to what I normally make. So if you enjoy it, let me know in the comment section. And I will see you all in a live stream video or short later.